Hello, Taurus. Welcome to Higher Source Tarot for a special full moon tarot and oracle card reading. These readings are for all Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Know that we have a super moon in a couple of days. It's the buck moon. And the buck moon is a time to shed old patterns. It's a time for new beginnings. Think of a buck growing new antlers. And so it's one of those times of spiritual transformation, shedding the old patterns, making way for the new. It's a time to release anything that isn't going forward and embrace change, tap into your inner strength. So you have sun magic, and you might have noticed already it's magic with a K. That's mysticism, metaphysical, attraction, law of attraction. Don't allow the power of your light to scare you into dimming yourself. So if somebody tells you you're too much for them, good. Now you know that you're not a match for them, because you know what? They're a dim light. That's all. They've got a dimmer on their switch, and you're not a match, and that's okay. So I feel like with this too, if you've been in a situation, even at work, where maybe your boss is not exactly hot stuff, and you have to dim yourself, dim your ideas because it's threatening. You know, weak bosses like to keep weak people around them because they're threatened. So just know that. And if you're going it alone in a business, you might find you're the best boss you've ever had. Now, we are going to do the money reading first. We've got the devil. Greed is good. Remember that? I think that was Michael Douglas. Judgment, the 10 of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and the 7 of Pentacles. Now, the bottom here are clarifiers. Well, they're telling you this is a time to take bold action. We've got the great architect of the universe, but you're also being called to action with judgment here. You have it several times. So if you've been thinking about doing something, let's start to do more than just think about it. If you're thinking about moving, you may find that it is a little bit difficult, but it doesn't mean that you should turn back and say, never mind. The King of Wands is great in terms of jobs, but the Emperor, he has an empire beneath him. There's nothing higher than the Emperor. So somebody here, I feel like you're going to get a promotion. I do feel like it's going to be a bit of work, but I feel like you're going to be compensated. And if you do work in some kind of like finance, I feel like you might be working more hours, but again, getting comped for it. So I feel like it's worth the effort, and I don't feel like that's going to last forever. I feel like it really is about you setting your goals, being focused on what you want, and being willing to put in the work, put in the effort. Now, if you're getting a second degree, there's a payoff. Or if you are fixing up something around where you live, if you have a house, or if you're even fixing up your car to get it ready to sell. I just saw somebody, it looked like you were doing something on a boat. Okay, I just feel like whatever you put your investment in, it's going to sell and it's going to make you money. So we've got Aries, Capricorn, both very ambitious signs, and the Archangel Gabriel. So this energy here is an old pattern. It's an old, tired out, burned out program. It can also be too much materialism. So if you pittered away money, I was going to say the other P word, which I think actually would be okay on here, but you never know. They get a little conservative. Anyway, but if you wasted money, or even if you had some kind of an addiction, you can do things like taking the money you would have spent on alcohol or vaping or whatever and start saving that. If you made it before and you were doing that, that's extra money to save. But I do feel like you had something here that was draining you, okay? We had to stop the bleeding on the finances. And so even if it was buying nice things and you say, you know what, I don't really need that now. I've shifted gears. I've gotten my fill. You don't have to live regrettably with it. If you bought a bougie car and you said to the bank, God, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And the bank says, no, you borrowed it. Money was cheap. You paid it off. It built your credit. You're over 800. You're good. Okay. I just feel like they're saying, don't be too hard on yourself about this. So interestingly enough, right next door to the ego, you have judgment, which helps you get out of the coffins of the ego. Whatever was limiting you financially, I feel like you're going to recognize it, see it for what it is, and make a choice to be done with it. Now, if it's something too like a job that doesn't ever offer you more, or if it's a job you're getting ready for retirement and you're setting up the side hustle because you say, I don't want to be fully retired, but I don't want quite this much responsibility. I feel like you're going to make the transition. But again, it has to do with your fortitude here. Now, the energy of judgment is an important decision. It's a turning point in your life. So I do feel like they're telling you you've got a little bit of work ahead of you, but it's not horrible. This 10 of Wands, 10s are about completions. And so if you've been in it already and you say, oh my God, if I have to look at another paint roller for our new house or my old house, I just can't even do it. I feel like they're saying you're coming to an end with this, okay? Things are about to get a lot easier. I do feel like, again, that hard work pays off. It's limited. It's time limited. It's not forever. So even if you say, well, I have a little bit of work to do, that's still okay. This Knight of Swords will help you get the job done. And so it also, too, though, we have to be a little bit careful with this and not getting too impulsive, not going at people. Let's not go nuclear on our boss, our coworkers, or a contractor, especially if you're building. Know that there's a lot of delays with building. It just happens. And they said 6 months. They meant to tell you 9, okay? You go, what, 30% longer? What? Well, it happens. Now, with the 7 of Pentacles, I feel like they're telling you be wise, be careful, be selective in your decisions, and you'll be on the right track. Save money where you can because it'll come in handy later. So let's see about a love reading for you all. And you set the intentions. You set those intentions on that buck moon. Don't be shy. That thing will deliver. You've got the Ace of Pentacles, Strength, the 4 of Swords, the Hierophant, the 9 of Cups, and down here on the bottom, we've got the 2 of Swords and the Queen of Cups. Well, I feel like whatever it is right under your nose, okay? This is about love, by the way. We have 2 major arcana. We have Taurus, Leo here. And I do feel like if you're in an impasse with a partnership, we got to get back to the basics. That's what they're telling you. To be in the place, too, with this person where this is caught in the middle. There's something very indecisive. Maybe letting go of the need for a decision immediately if it's kind of a complicated relationship. I do feel like you have love here. You have a marriage even. Now, if you're in a place where you're in a separation right now, I feel like they keep saying ode to joy. You know that song, Ode to Joy? But what I feel like they're telling you is you've got to get back in the place where you feel the love again, and where we're not just giving the person the leftovers. What do you have left? Here's the shell of my person because I'm so busy running around with my job, my side hustle, my workout, my friends, my family, blah, blah, blah. And here's what you get. You get the rest of me. How about the best of you? That's what they want. They want the best of you. I feel like this person may feel a bit left out by you, to be honest. And so if that's the case, you got to reconnect if you're in a relationship. Now, I do feel like with this Ace of Pentacles, this is new opportunities. If you're focused on the physical body right now, you know what? Go for it. Do it. Because when you're at your best, that's when you attract the best. And if you're not ready to go out on a date tomorrow, if you say, oh my God, I don't know what I'd wear, or, I look terrible. Let's get back into it then. Let's get back up to snuff, as my dad would say. Get yourself looking good, feeling good. This energy will be your point of attraction. And I'll tell you what, you'll attract somebody who really wants to run the distance. Now, this energy of strength is having great compassion. It's having love. It's having a deep understanding and patience, because relationships do take understanding and patience. We're dealing with other humans, and being able to see that person as your source sees them, that they're a beautiful, bright soul in there. And so I feel like when you're just least expecting it, that's when it's going to hit you. So if you're in this place of a kind of a 4 of Swords in your love life, this helps you to get open, or they're telling you you need to get open, because I mentioned you do have Taurus here, and I feel like you being yourself, there's nothing better. There's nothing more attractive, sexier. That is the kind of energy when you are your best, when you are completely relaxed and as yourself. So meditate, quiet the mind, don't be too worried about it. With this energy of the Hierophant, you bring in unity and you bring in love. This is telling you that this is a time to be very deeply spiritual. What's been holding you back? It can be even a lack of stability in terms of your spirit, having the mind taking the reins too much, quieting things down. If you're waking up with anxiety or even panic, meditate. Meditate your way through that stuff. Now with this 9 of Cups energy, again, I feel like they're telling you when you're feeling and looking your best, that's when you'll attract. It's also when you'll be the best partner. So I do feel like this moon might bring in a bit of luck. This represents luck. So does this actually, where if you're single, you're going to meet somebody right after this. Might be Leo season when it happens, but there is love here. I love you too, Taurus. I'll be back again soon.